Okay, so I've got the 16-foot trailer on the back. We're going 80 kilometers up to Murray Bridge. I do this trip quite often. Right now we're sitting on, I'll confirm, I'll show you here, I think it's like 80%, something like that. But we're towing an absolute windsock. Like, this thing is absolutely massive. And she's loaded up with a bit of debris as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully we don't have any issues. I'm guessing I might have to charge when we get to Murray Bridge, but let's see how we go. Okay, so it was 82% charge. It's saying we'll get 237 kilometers with the trailer attached. That's normally more like 580, almost 600 kilometers with just the car. Okay, so interestingly, I haven't even got to the freeway yet, and we're running at 47.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So that's just an interesting perspective. We'll see how that changes as I get up to speed at 110. Okay, so I thought while we're at it, let's combine this video and make it a trailer and also a boat towing video. So we'll give you both of the figures at the end of this. Now, I've since towed the boat up the first leg, which is the first 500 meters in elevation. It's not a big distance, it's only 20 kilometers, but the elevation is what gets the EVs. Now, in this scenario, we've pulled 61 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. In saying that, this boat is 1.6 tons, but what's going to be interesting is this boat on the freeway, because it's such a windsock. I know driving the Patrol, pulling this one up the big, incline on the freeway with the Patrol, you'd hear the V8 absolutely screaming to keep it at that 110 kilometers an hour. So it'll be interesting to see how the car goes. But at the moment, even if we continued on this elevation the whole way at 60 kilowatt per 100 kilometers, we'd still get just under 200 kilometers to a full charge. You know, and just for reference, if you had, say, a turbo diesel ute, if you were towing it, maybe you'd be towing it a hypothetical 20 litres, 24 litres per 100, and you've got a 60 litre tank, you're talking similar ranges. You know, yes, this is lower. It's still lower for sure, but it's also a shit ton cheaper to recharge, especially if you have solar. All right, let's keep going. Just one thing I want to show you, which I just love about the new technology. Push of a button, no dramas. You can check if your hitch is on. You can check that your chains are on. It's just so much better. You know, all the old cars, they were so stuck with the laws that they wouldn't let you see any cameras at all over 1 kilometer an hour or whatever the stupid rules were. But all of these new cars are challenging the norm, and I love that. So interestingly enough, we're on the freeway now, and we're sitting on 42 to 44 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is less than the drive up. You can see here, it was like 55 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers going up the hill. Now, it's a 500 meter incline up that hill. So interestingly, this is the exact same detail I found when I had the Tesla, and I was surprised at that. I thought that the wind resistance would be the car's enemy, not the sort of gravity, not the elevation. But both the Tesla and this Kia have shown they much prefer cruising at 116, which is 113 kilometers real world, because these cars are 3 kilometers out, but they much prefer cruising at that speed than going up a 500 meter elevation. Anyway, just an interesting perspective. Let's keep going. So this is the hill here, which I talk about in the Patrol video, that I was surprised the Patrol was screaming to keep the boat at 100, 110, 115, whatever, and the EV9's only sitting at about half power, as it shows on the graph there. Anyway, we're currently sitting at 53 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, so you wouldn't want to be going too far. But again, if you were towing with a diesel or something like that, you'd probably be just as restricted by fuel anyway. Okay, so there we have it. We've arrived 79.8 kilometers or 80 kilometers, most of it cruising at about 113 GPS speed, so 116 in the car. We're down to 147 kilometers left of range and 52%. So the car's done pretty well. Considering it was an 80 kilometer trip, we started at what, 267 or something? So you'd expect it to be at about 180. It's actually predicted better with the trailer on than I have had just with the car. So it's done really well. At the end of the day, driving a massive trailer, I've gotten away with, on average, 40.7 kilowatt hours per 100. So if I had a full tank at 100 kilowatt, that would mean I'd still get over 230 kilometers of range dragging this 16-foot by 6-foot trailer with extended drawbar. It's a huge trailer. I think it's like 9 meters long. Okay, so we just got to our destination and I turned the car off before I remembered to record it. But I saw what it was. It was sitting on 53 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So towing the boat, on average, we would get about 200 kilometers per full charge, which on the side of the road is going to be 50-55 bucks, or at home might be completely free. So if you're curious which one I would prefer to tow with out of the Patrol and the EV9, I'd actually say the EV9. You know, in the scenario that you're meeting the criteria, you're under 2.5 ton, you don't need to drive very far. It's a great car. It just pulled it seamlessly and really easily. When I got into the Patrol after having a Tesla, I was really surprised by just how loud that engine had to work to get the car and the boat up the hill. Alright guys, well if you want to see me tow a caravan in the next video, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.